Hello, my name is Cameron Welch, and I'll be talking about the nurse leader and administrator role. The nurse administrator role has never been more necessary and crucial. Nurse leaders must be consistent in a time of uncertainty and chaos such as now. The role of the nurse administrator is essential for inspiring and engaging our constituents, colleagues, and stakeholders. Nurse leaders and the nurse administrator is absolutely essential in order to affect our staff, patient health outcomes, and quality outcomes. It is important to remember that, according to Roussel, without a spirited and deeply satisfied workforce, sustained safety and quality care are improbable. The nurse leader or administrator has several considerable barriers in today's practice and healthcare environment. One must understand these barriers in order to properly attack them in their own healthcare environment. American healthcare is rapidly evolving today. The nursing profession experiences constant change, resulting in an increased amount of stress for the nurse, patient, family, and the nurse's friends and family. Additionally, it is important to note that in today's healthcare environment, healthcare workers face unique challenges, including that of increased chaos, higher acuity patients, higher patient census, more comorbidities, more complex diseases, and more complex disease management and treatment plans. Thus, it is important for the healthcare professional, specifically the nurse leader and administrator, to explore the need for safer, high-quality care and treatment. These changes have primarily happened within the past decade, marked by pronounced changes, including changes in social demographics, advancements in technology, and a high demand for a high-quality, efficient, and cost-effective care. It is important to note that quality improvement, evidence-based practice, and patient experience are absolutely essential in sustaining today's competitive edge. It is important to note one of the most critical challenges that nurse leaders and administrators must consider is that of burnout. It should be noted that burnout not only affects efficiency, but also stability. It should be considered that the shortage of nurses in the United States are widely attributed to burnout. This poses a major challenge for those in leadership. The concept of the nurse shortage and nurse burnout are often closely related and often synonymous. Burnout is characterized by the idea of persistent emotional and interpersonal job-related stressors. In fact, burnout is often characterized by high levels of emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and a low sense of accomplishment. Burnout is often largely cited by nurses who leave the bedside and often cite increased job demands and excessive stress levels. It is also cited that nurses who stay in the nursing profession often affect patient care and patient health outcomes greatly. In fact, it is noted that these nurses often work more efficiently, and greatly impact patient health outcomes. They often also have a sense of work-related satisfaction. Thus, nurse leaders and administrators must consider and incorporate strategies and policies aimed at quality care, patient health outcomes, and the need for quality leadership. It is important to note that nurse leadership is crucial for healthcare organizations. In fact, inappropriate leadership often increases costs, employee turnover, burnout, and absenteeism. In today's healthcare climate, it is notable that appropriate leadership is absolutely necessary for all healthcare organizations and settings. Today's healthcare climate is noted through the concept of chaos, often requiring a clear way of thinking and the incorporation of the concepts of quality, safety, efficiency, and effectiveness. The nurse leader or administrator has the opportunity to directly involve patients, families, and staff. In fact, it is important to note that the next generation of nurse leaders and nurse administrators have a great opportunity to greatly involve academia and education for those in policy change. It is also important to note that nurse leaders and administrators have the potential to influence, shape, and change the entirety of the healthcare environment. Additionally, the nursing profession has the power to self-regulate, grow in knowledge, and govern the practice and practitioners. As a response, the nursing profession is often held accountable for the promotion of health in several patient populations throughout society. The nurse administrator must understand not only nationally, but global trends and shortages also greatly affect nursing practice. On the global scale, as well as nationally, we are experiencing a rapidly aging population with a higher acuity of needs, with more complex diseases and more complex disease managements. Thus, healthcare professionals will and are experiencing policy changes and initiatives including infection prevention, disease management, disease prevention, and new and growing healthcare specialties such as home health care. It is important to note, as outlined on the slide, that the nurse leader's goal is to, nurse leaders create and sustain safe and healthy care environments for individuals, families, communities, populations, and the workforce by advocating for diversity and inclusivity to achieve health equity. It should also be noted that in addition to the nurse leader's goal, it is also the nurse's goal to practice to the fullest extent of their license and education, who are then fully supported and competent by nurse leaders and administration. It is very important to address the concept of complex adaptive systems. Complex adaptive systems looks to address the rapidly evolving nature of the American healthcare system. The complex adaptive system model promotes patient-centered care plans that which are often flexible and implement an interactive approach to healthcare. It is important to note that this theory offers a theoretical perspective to understand and improve nursing practice alongside evidence-based practice, widely affecting patient care and patient health outcomes. Complex adaptive systems has a goal to promote patient-centered care, safety, and quality. A byproduct of complex adaptive system models is flexibility, widely affecting nursing leadership, staff, and patient health and outcomes. Evidence-based practice is a crucial concept in any nursing practice and is heavily promoted in complex adaptive systems. It is important to note that this theory offers a theoretical perspective for understanding and improving nursing practice alongside evidence-based practice, widely affecting patient care and patient health outcomes. Thus, patient health outcomes are often drastically affected. Complex adaptive systems is often identified through challenging traditional thought and ideas related to standardization. However, It is also important to remember that changes, especially within healthcare, is extremely difficult. It should be noted that quality improvement and change often fails due to the inability and refusal to utilize the complex adaptive system theory. Emotional intelligence is often cited as the intentional incorporation of self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and relationship management. Conversely, research suggests that the lack of emotional intelligence strategies and mindfulness in nursing professionals are among the top reasons that very few nurses aspire for leadership in the nursing profession. Emotional intelligence has the potential to greatly influence a working environment. The nurse leader has the power to either create a toxic or a healthy environment for staff, patients, and family members alike. In fact, literature highlights the importance to understand and implement the concept of emotional intelligence in order to address effective coping mechanisms, stress, and conflict management. It is important to note that through the utilization and implementation of emotional intelligence, nurse leaders are often better equipped to deal with adverse conditions, including that of chronic stress, lack of self-care strategies, and crisis management. It is also often cited that clear and concise communication are often unintentionally incorporated into practice through the intentional use of emotional intelligence. Often, researchers note that emotional intelligence is utilized and implemented through the concept of transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is considered a byproduct of emotional intelligence and an appropriate coping mechanism for nursing leadership. However, many researchers note that transformational leadership and emotional intelligence often go hand in hand. Transformational leadership aims to lead to increased patient satisfaction, patient health outcomes, increased staff well-being, decreased burnout rates, and decreased stress within the healthcare environment. The American Nurses Association's Scopes and Standards 11, 12, 7, 19, and 16 are all extremely important to understand in relation to nursing leadership. All of the above, combined with culturally competent care, support a professional practice environment. Professional practice must consider the culture of patients, staff, and the healthcare organization alike in order to promote safety, quality, and practice. In fact, healthcare professionals must incorporate the ANA's scope and standards in order to support ethics and regulatory standards and considerations due to the American melting pot. Culture is closely related to one's personal morals and shapes the person, whether this be a patient, staff member, or otherwise. It is important to consider one's culture when considering ethical leadership and legal or regulatory enforcements. Finally, we will talk about magnet recognition. American healthcare is constantly and rapidly shifting. Recently, American healthcare has experienced a dramatic shift from fee-for-service, episodic, to value, health, and efficiency reimbursement programs. As a result, we see a shift from inpatient to outpatient needs, specialty care, and nursing, as well as all over cost-saving strategies. In nursing culture, there is an obvious push for evidence-based and highly reliable nursing care, in addition to culturally relevant quality and safety components to optimize outcomes. It is important to highlight that quality is a priority and is considered systematic change in the American healthcare system. As a healthcare professional and leader, it has been an apparent and swift change in the inpatient and outpatient healthcare system. The American healthcare system, as a whole, has demonstrated a need for a system of quality and safety, shifting the healthcare system's culture and habits. This act dramatically reduces the risk for the healthcare system, patient, and healthcare professionals. Through these changes, our goal is to dramatically affect patient health outcomes, promoting health, safety, and nursing practice. It is important to consider, again, transformational leadership. Transformation leadership is crucial now more than ever. This leadership is often a practice that which commits clinicians to action, converts followers into leaders, and leaders into agents of change. Transformation leadership is considered the core of change and change initiation. Additionally, this practice is considered the core of action and sustaining change. It is important to note that a leader that utilizes and implements transformational leadership does not use the power to control and repress, rather to work toward goals, empower others, and implement and sustain change. The transformation leader empowers staff to become critical thinkers, specifically nurse leaders, and transforms healthcare professionals and the healthcare environment. Secondly, the structural empowerment model includes and depends on the needs of the health organization. The structural empowerment model can often focus on operations, education, administration, quality, policy, and procedures. However, it should be noted that there may be a cause for a potential disconnect from the larger organization, dependent on the size of the organization and variety of needs. It is heavily dependent on engagement from all of those involved. However, if implemented correctly and accurately, it should be noted that a healthcare professional and staff's work-life balance may be directly impacted through the use of structural empowerment. According to research, and Roussel et al., the evidence of a healthy work life supported by a philosophy of empowerment and inclusion of staff members in decision for their practice. In relation to exemplary professional practice, it is also considered crucial for the nurse leader. This concept may take several forms and shape dependent on the healthcare professional and their role. Every team member provides unique and important care for their patient and family. However, it is important that each team member must collectively maximize disciplinary collaboration. The nurse leader and their staff must recognize their own barriers and advantages within the team. Key principles of exemplary professional practice as outlined in the research include adaptability, accuracy, productivity, efficiency, and safety. It should be noted that there are several key concepts that should be outlined. Those include adaptability, productivity, and efficiency. These often affect each other. For example, when a team is more efficient, the team is more productive. Additionally, when a team is more productive, the team may be more adaptive or efficient, possibly both. The nurse leader must incorporate the concepts of new knowledge, innovation, and improvement into practice and healthcare environment culture. In fact, it should be noted that evidence-based practice is a core value in today's healthcare environment. Education, innovation, and improvement are critical and require evidence-based practice. These concepts are considered core nursing competencies and should be noted that evidence-based practice and implementation are considered critical. However, nurse leaders and their staff must be engaged, and the nurse leader must have fostered a positive environment and attitudes throughout the team. These concepts increase job satisfaction, organizational commitment, leaders' performance, and teamwork. Additionally, there is a significant amount of evidence that the approach to innovation, improvement, and research, and the sharing of knowledge throughout the organization greatly contributes to patient health outcomes, patient care, and cost reduction, as well as improved patient satisfaction. Quality is a cornerstone of magnet recognition and often considered the core of today's healthcare system. Additionally, the concept of quality is closely related to patient health outcomes and a direct result of professional practice. It is widely considered that quality and quality results are considered identification of excellence in patient care delivery and nursing care. In fact, quality and quality indicators are considered proof of nurse-sensitive indicators. In Galatians 6:9, we are reminded, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for as the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." In Matthew 7:12, we are also told, "So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets." As healthcare administrators and nurse leaders, we should remember that we are leading a team. Christ reminds us that we should remember that we as the team leader are a part of the team, and that as we lead, we must demonstrate the compassionate leadership that we once longed for. As leaders in Christ, we must also demonstrate the love and compassion that Christ has given us. Thus, as we lead, we should keep in mind that at our core, we do good as commanded and provide for others. As a healthcare professional, we must lead our nurses as we once longed to be led. Leaders must consider themselves as part of the healthcare team. We should consider that we are leading the future of healthcare. Nurses are the core of the American healthcare system, taking up more than 90% of the population. Thus, as we lead our new and current nurses, we should consider what and how we want the future of nursing to look like. Do we want our nurses to incorporate the quality into their core of their practice? Do we want nurses to strive for magnet recognition? Should we incorporate the ANA's standards and scopes into their daily practice? The answer, absolutely. We want the future of nursing to look better than ours. Our job as nurse leaders is to lead our nurses into success and accomplish what we could only dream of. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Attached are the references for this presentation. Have a great semester.